I plan to do a series on hints and tips for Modern Warfare 2, so if you want to see more videos like this, then rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll get some more up. First one, this is how to deal with an enemy Predator missile. If you're one of those people who keeps getting killed by them and keeps thinking, why do they always go for me? Hopefully I'll be able to point out some tips which will mean they won't always go for you, or you will avoid them if they do. Tip 1 is to be aware of when an enemy Predator missile is incoming. You'll hear Predator missile incoming, and when you hear that, you'll see a big red dot appear on the mini-map, a big red ringed circle, and that's the enemy Predator missile. I usually notice the big red circle on the mini-map rather than the guy telling us that an enemy Predator missile incoming. But if you hear or see either, this is important that you're aware of when they're coming, because if you have no idea they're coming and you're not paying attention, you're likely to get killed. Tip 2 is, as soon as you hear this or see there's a Predator missile incoming, try and get indoors, the nearest cover you can get to where there's like a sheltered roof. Some places are buildings but they have glass roofs and they can get Predator missiles through the top, like on Terminal's one that you can get Predator missiles through the top because it's mainly glass windows. So try and find some cover with a roof and you should be okay. If you're not in any cover at all, the best thing to do is try and find the most remote area of the map where no one else is on. That's quite good, and they don't usually go for corners and stuff, so if you try and find a remote area on the map, that's the second best thing to getting into cover. Thirdly, don't stand still. Try and run and zigzag and change your movement up, because once they've pressed the boost button on the Predator missile, they have to be pretty accurate with aiming it. So if they've already pressed the boost button and you run away from the point they were aiming at, there's a good chance that you might survive. The fourth tip is to not group up. Do not be around teammates when the Predator missile's incoming, because people want to get as many kills as they can and they'll go for double, triple and multi-kills if they can. So if there's a Predator missile incoming, try and get away from your teammates, and if you're not near teammates, don't try and follow teammates. The main problem with Predator missiles is when people group up and then they'll get aimed at, because the person who with the Predator missile wants to get the most kills they possibly can. So do not group up with other people when there's a Predator missile coming. Leave your teammates behind, try and find cover, but do not follow them. That is one of the main reasons people get killed. And that's the main reason I get killed by Predator missiles. When I see a Predator missile incoming, I try and run away from my teammates, but sometimes there are some people that follow you. There's people like to group up in Modern Warfare 2, which is a bad thing in general, because if they're snipers, that's how collaterals happen. People grouping up, people following each other in a line, and that's what happens with Predator missiles. So avoid grouping up with teammates, try and run away from your teammates, just get as far away from a big group of teammates as possible, and then it's likely they won't go for you. If you're on your own and there's a group of teammates, the majority of people will go for the group to try and get multi-kills. It's very rarely that they'll go for a single kill. And it makes it harder. If everyone is split up, it makes it harder for the person with the Predator missile, because they're only likely to get one kill, if that. The final tip, if you still find yourself getting killed and these other tips haven't helped, is a last resort, and that's to use the perk Cold-Blooded. And I say it's a final resort because people like to use Stopping Power a lot as their second perk, and Cold-Blooded would take over Stopping Power if you had it on, but it means that you won't be seen on the Predator missile map. It means no airstrikes also can't see you and stuff, which is an added benefit, but to do with Predator missiles, you won't show up on the Predator missile map. But if you have Cold-Blooded on, and one of your teammates doesn't, and you stand next to them, then you're just a likely target again. So the main thing would still be stay away from teammates when using a Predator missile. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below.